Welcome, my name is Anthony, and I'm going to be your instructor for the Red Hat Certified System Administrator Certification Prep course. In this lesson, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the certification itself, as well as this course. Now, this is very important, so please do not skip this. So first, this course will cover all of the public requirements for the Red Hat Certified System Administrator Certification exam, and it's located at redhat.com. Provided on this slide is a link to that certification. You can also find it by going into Google and typing Red Hat space RHCSA. This course specifically uses that outline in order for preparation. One thing to know is that whenever we take a certification, we all are bound to the certification terms of service, which includes a privacy policy. It is against the terms of service to provide information or exact tasks that are performed inside of a certification. That's why we're using the public provided objectives. Now, throughout this course, because the certification requirements actually assume it, prior basic knowledge is assumed and required. If you're completely new to Linux and have never run Linux, do not start in this course. You must meet one of the following requirements before taking this course. So please either have taken and completed the Linux Plus LPIC Level 1 course or certification. If you've completed both of those courses at linuxacademy.com but have not taken the certification, you will still be prepared to move on to the Red Hat. Having taken and completed the Linux Essentials certification course. If you have not taken Linux Essentials but have taken Linux Plus, you can still take this. You at the very least need to complete one of these requirements before taking this Red Hat course. Having at least 1 year working as a Linux administrator. This does not mean running a virtual private server part-time. This means working inside of a Linux team for 1 year as a full-time job. Because again, certain knowledge is required going into this exam. So if you have not had at least 1 year working as a Linux administrator, as long as you have completed one of these other two requirements, you are ready to take this course. So please note, all you have to do is take or meet one of these three requirements to go through this course. But please make sure you meet at least one of them. Throughout this course, the Linux Academy will provide GUI and terminal-based virtual servers for us to use. We will use these virtual servers for 90% of our content. We will be using the Red Hat Enterprise 7 distribution throughout this. However, part of the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator requires about 10% that virtual servers can't help us do. So 10% of our course, we will need to use virtualization software installed on your regular computer, such as VirtualBox or VMware Workstation. And then for the other part of it, for our KVM virtualization section, that it actually requires a physical machine. We can't even virtualize that. If you do not have access to either of these, it is okay. You can still take 90% of this course with linuxacademy.com provided lab servers. You can still achieve being prepared to take this certification. It will take a little bit extra effort on your part to be intentional about paying special attention to those 10% of the videos, as well as doing a little bit more memorization. I will, throughout this section, whenever we reach one of those videos, make sure that you know what requirements are needed in order to do it and that are paying special attention. Now, at this point, having met one of the previous requirements, you should know how to download and install VirtualBox and install the Red Hat distribution. Red Hat Certified Administrator assumes that you already know how to install a distribution on a server. So if you do not know how to do this, please go to the linuxacademy.com Linux Essentials course that will walk you through this entire setup process. Again, this is some of that prior knowledge that is expected when taking the Red Hat certification, as well as taking this course. We provide all of that knowledge at linuxacademy.com. So if you do not meet one of those prior requirements, just go back and take the Linux Essentials course. And then you can move on to the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator course that we're on now. Now let's talk about preparing for the exam. The exam is performance-based, and it does require the student to take the exam at a physical location approved by Red Hat. It must be an approved training location, and you must register for this through redhat.com. Anywhere else, it is not a legitimate exam station. Now, a performance-based exam puts the student in front of a terminal to execute certain tasks. These are not question-based exams. Instead, you're sitting in front of a Linux terminal performing exercises and labs on the system. It is recorded and sent to Red Hat for grading, and your exam results return in generally about 5 days. So this course will prepare you to go take that exam. This course does not issue the certification. However, upon successful completion of the course, a certificate of completion will be issued by Linux Academy upon completion. Now, because this is a performance-based exam, you'll notice that our content is primary video-based and exercise and lab-based. We have a lot more exercises than normal. Now, we do have quiz questions in there and a downloadable study guide. So you will need to make sure that you memorize the downloadable study guide. You will also need to make sure that you are able to take the practice quizzes. The practice quizzes ensures that you have proper memorization of the tools and subjects that you need to know to go in and take the exam. So since the exam is performance-based, we'll have more exercises and self-paced labs, and we'll be working primarily in a terminal, whereas we provide the quiz questions in order to help ensure memorization. Now, after completing the course, you need to spend at least 2 weeks practicing the provided exercises, going through the quizzes, and memorizing the study guide. Upon completion, you still need to practice and reinforce the concepts that you've learned so that when you go into the performance-based exam, you know everything you need to know. Now, in those exams, you have access to everything that a Red Hat distribution will have. You have access to manual pages. Outside of that, you cannot take anything in there with you. You do not have access to the external internet to Google anything. You only have access to man pages. That's why after completing this course, it is suggested that you spend at least 2 weeks practicing the exercises, going through the quizzes, and memorizing the study guide. So if you meet these objectives and requirements in order to start taking the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator Certification Prep course, then go ahead and complete this lesson and let's get started.